Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my out-of-box review for the HG Gundam The Origin Char's Custom Zaku 1. So yeah, thank you to MindFenix Hobby Store for sending me this kit to share with you guys. If you're living in Australia, do check out their site and shop with them. And yeah, here we have just one of the latest, not absolutely the latest yet, because there's the Bugu that's also out, as well as the other gun cannon. But anyway, one of the latest releases in the HG Gundam The Origin line, and it's nice, but it's not really a whole lot new in this case. So if you already got a an HG The Origin Zaku 2 or an HG The Origin Zaku 1, this is going to be very, very familiar for you, as basically parts of this, like the shoulder armor especially, is just in the feet. You know, other parts, there's a lot of parts of this that are from the Zaku 1 and a lot of parts from the Zaku 2. So it's just all really familiar. But we do have a little bit of new stuff included with this, so we'll talk about that. A little bit different backpack, a little bit different head, a little bit different chest part, and then of course its new weapon, which is going to be like the main thing that people are going to be wanting this for, I think, probably. So a little bit different colorways, I guess, as well, but basically it's just a Zaku 1 with Zaku 2 shoulder armor, and it has a Zaku machine gun, which has a belt fed system from an extra part that's going to attach onto the backpack. So one other thing that it does also have, which we'll go over here, is fantastic articulation, fantastic details. All of that has been the same for all of the Origin Zaku kits so far. One thing that I will also point out is that this kit did come with a bunch of nice stickers here, so if you wanted to use these, you can use these. I haven't used any of them on this kit except for just the one for the mono eye. But if you wanted to use those, you can. So let's talk about the articulation. We can probably go through this pretty quickly because I think I've talked about the articulation of this kit 5, 6, 7 times, it feels like. Head will go up to there, and under the head there is a small switch that you can move. It's kind of really hard to get at. That's where the heat hawk actually comes in handy, to actually move that switch under the head to turn the mono eye. If I can find it, there we go. So the mono eye can turn inside there. Unfortunately, that mono eye is not a molded detail, that's just a sticker there, so painting that, you do just kind of have to drop a little drop of paint on there, or however you want to actually go about doing that. But it's not, they think that would have made it a lot easier if they would have just made that a molded detail. It would be really easy to paint, but unfortunately not. So anyway, the head will go down to there. Back to there, so really nice articulation they've built into the neck joint. One thing that's been a constant with all these kits is that the joints and the articulation, everything they've built into them, is really, really nice. The engineering in these HG The Origin kits, especially the Zaku line, are really, really good. So the shoulder armor here will move a little bit there on its own. You can see it will kind of pull out a little bit. There we go. And then so moving the arm up, you can get the arm up to about there before the shoulder armor is kind of getting in the way. But you can get the arm up 90 degrees. This elbow joint, or sorry, shoulder joint, will move out with that polycap like so. So you can bring the arms nice and far forward. Rotation at the top of the arm, and then a double joint at the elbow. Gives you a nice full bend there. Nice new detail here on the elbow here as well. On the front of the arm, unfortunately, is still that same unsightly seam. You will have to get rid of that. Really wish that they would just engineer this differently so that there isn't that seam line there, but unfortunately, that's how it goes. So same hands again, just on a ball joint there. In the torso, these side sections, like on the other kits, will kind of collapse forward when you swing the arm forward. You can see you get a little bit of that movement here, like that. Not really a whole lot, though, in this case. Moving forward and back, we have some nice articulation there to give you a nice far bend forward for a nice stomach crunch. Back, not really all that much though, you're basically just pulling on the polycap at that point. For the skirt armor, these skirts will just move separately, like so. Front skirts, side skirts will move a little bit, but not too much. Those do kind of like, they're on like a little bit of a track, so they can kind of like slide back a little bit out of the way, depending on how you want to move your legs, but I do find that they do kind of pop out kind of easily. You can see there is space for them to slide a little bit to get out of the way of the legs if you want to do some really high kicking poses or something. As for the back skirt, nothing's going to move there, but we do have a couple of connection points. And in the backpack, the little thrusters on there will move a little bit as well. Those are just on ball joints. And yeah, the backpack has ports here, which we don't have anything to use those for in this kit. But if you have like leftover parts from a different kit, you can use those. And then the shoulder armor on this side, again, will just move on a ball joint. So that will move kind of around. Not really a whole lot, but enough, I think, for you to do whatever you want. So anyway, going down here to the legs are on a swinging hip joint. So as you can see here, that whole hip joint will swing forward, which is also really great for posing and articulation. The legs will go out to about there, so nice distance for that. Rotation at the top, bend at the knee. We get a really nice separation of that knee armor. I really love the knees of these kits. It looks great. It would be nice if they would have made this hip joint, or this thigh armor sliding a little bit. Would have been kind of cool, but it is just an HG. You can't expect too much. But nice, good bend there in the knees. Ankles are also pretty nice, just because considering the way the Zakus are designed, just with this lower leg like that, it's kind of hard to get too much articulation out of them, but these do pretty well. You can get that all the way out to the side like that, so you get a pretty wide stance out of this. Forward to about there, and these again have that same kind of gimmick. I want to show you this properly. With the foot here, when you slide, or when you move, bend the foot toe forward, bend the foot forward, the foot kind of separates here, and then we have that nice detail up underneath the feet. No hollow spaces there, so that's nice. Down, it's only going to be about to there, so not really a whole lot of downward movement for the feet, unfortunately, but overall, good articulation. Sorry, I'm just kind of speeding through that because I've gone over the articulation of this kit so many times. Really is kind of unnecessary. But for the accessories, we have this connection piece, which will allow you to connect this onto an action base. Again, really, really, really wish that they would just make it a hole, like with other HG kits, that you can just plug that onto an action base easier instead of using a connection piece, but unfortunately they haven't done anything about that. We have our heat hawk and just the form for just with the pegs, so you can plug that onto the body of the mobile suit, inactive form and then active form here. This is for holding in the hand, and then this one will just plug here onto the side skirt like so, if you so choose. And let's see, then in this kit we have a lot of leftover parts, or just extra parts that are just in different colors, so you do have a little bit of different options. If you don't want to paint this kit, you can have a couple of parts in different colors if you want, depending on just what you have in terms of the extra parts, which you do have a lot of extra parts. Some notable extra parts though are the shoulder armor parts from the Zaku 1. So if you did just want to make a Zaku 1 with just this shoulder armor without the spikes, or just this arm piece without the shield mounted onto there, you do have these parts. You do also have a couple different parts for the chest and arms and legs, and pretty much everywhere you have extra parts. For extra hands, we have the holding hands on the kit. Then we do also have this same kind of like open hand / rifle support hand there for the left side. And then for the right side, we have a trigger finger hand, which I just have already here attached onto the new Zaku machine gun. So instead of having the machine gun ammo container mounted onto the top of the gun or on the side of the gun, depending on different versions of it, we actually have a belt ammo belt going from the base of the handle, which will go on this kind of soft plastic piece around to this ammo container, which attaches up underneath the backpack of the Zaku. So this will just clip up underneath there, like so, and then we can just bring this around to be held in the hand very easily, like so, and there you go. There is your belt-fed machine gun for the Zaku 1, and that's pretty much what you're going to be buying this kit for, probably. Of course, the secondary handle on the front of the rifle does also move side to side if you want to use that. Here he is for comparison with a couple of his kinfolk, the Char Zaku 2 and the regular Zaku 1. Basically, if you took these two kits and fused them together, that's what you would get. So that's pretty much it. A couple just little corrections there. I think I mentioned that the chest piece is different. The chest piece from the Char's version Zaku 1 and the regular Zaku 1, the chest piece is barely different. It's very, very, very slightly different. But you do have just a regular chest piece in there if you do want to use that. Also, the elbow pieces I mentioned were different and actually not different, it looks like. I think they're just molded on different runners because the colorways are different, so sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, you can pretty much see where the different parts of everything all comes from. And also the head. The head is also not different from the regular original Zaku one, so there's, yeah, just some of these parts are just such very minor differences, it's kind of hard to tell. Alright, so while I try to give the Heat Hawk some love here, as it just sort of ends up feeling like kind of a throwaway weapon that Bandai just feels like they just kind of have to include with every single Zaku kit, where a lot of people, I mean, some people must like it, but I think a lot of people don't really end up actually using it much. So just want to kind of show it a little bit of love here, but also want to illustrate the point that if you don't want to use the rifle, it really would have been cool if they would have made some way for you to like clip the machine gun onto the side skirt or something, or like onto the backpack or something, just because it would be really cool to have it so like you have the ammo drum attached onto the underside of the backpack, and then like you just attach like the machine gun part just onto the side of the backpack or something, just so that it can like hold it not in its hand if you wanted to, just have it just standing just with the hands just at its side, or like in some action pose like this with the Heat Hawk. So I don't know, that's just a really small complaint of something that I just kind of wish that they would have done for this kit, but unfortunately they didn't. So I don't know, maybe you have to try just scratch building a little connection piece for that, and I think that would probably be pretty cool. So that's pretty much going to do it for my review of this kit. There's not really a whole lot of negatives about this kit except for just the fact that it is a very familiar kit. It's mostly all recycled from past kits, so I would recommend this kit if you haven't built any of the HG Origin Zaku kits. Then definitely I would recommend picking one of them up. If you really like this weapon, then pick up this version. If you really like one of the other like more unique weapons, like the big giant axe with the high mobility Black Tri-Stars version, then pick up that one. I would definitely recommend picking up one of them. Just find the one that looks cool to you, that comes with the best weapon according to your taste, and get that one. If that happens to be this belt-fed machine gun, then yeah, pick up this one. If you've already built a couple of them, then this may not really do a whole lot for you unless you're collecting them, or again, you just really, really like that particular weapon. So that's pretty much it for this review, guys. If you do have any other questions or comments, you can leave those down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.